Hey everyone, Josh Mabe, NASCAR Minute, soon to be on our new website, theracingsource.com. Doug Richert's here. Doug, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Josh. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. So after you left Richard Childress Racing, where did you go from there?
Oh, that's a long time ago. I left Richard Childress Racing, and I went to Junior Johnson's, and that's when Dale Earnhardt Sr. he went to Bud Moore's, and then I spent 4 years at Junior Johnson's, and left there and went to work for Buddy Baker, Ben Hess, and several people along the way there.
So what was Buddy Baker's team like?
Hey, Josh, you're cutting out real bad. It's really hard to hear you.
What was Buddy Baker's team like?
It was good. It was when he had the Crisco sponsorship, running Oldsmobiles. It was, he's one of the legends, of racing, of course. So I had a chance to work with him, and we had some decent runs during the time I was there. Of course, we didn't win. You always want to win, but I was pleased with it. Buddy, he's a good guy, and now he's moved on to doing work on MRN, and we listen to him there now.
So when did you leave Buddy Baker's team?
Holy cow, you're asking me years here.
I'm just trying to keep up with it.
Without a notepad, I lose track. It's got to be in the late 80s, I think it was.
So let's say 1990. Where were you then?
Oh, man, you're asking me a lot of questions, Josh.
Are you okay with that?
Just don't remember where I'm at.
Alright, so, when is the, let's do this. When was the, most farthest back thing you can remember since then?
Well, I mean, I know a series. I know where I went in different orders, but, it's hard for me to remember the years. They all ran together.
Alright, so we were at, alright, so just tell me that. Where did you go? Just tell me where the order you went to the teams.
I'll try to remember here. I went to, after I left Richard Childress Racing, I went to Junior Johnson's, and then Dale, he went to Bud Moore's. So I spent 4 years at Junior Johnson's, and co-crew chief with Darrell Waltrip, and then crew chief Neil Bonnet. And then after I left Junior Johnson's, I went to Buddy Baker's there with the Crisco team. Ran about a season there. And then I helped Ben Hess for a while. He ran some today's nationwide series, and we ran some sprint cup races there for about a year. And I bounced around. I helped quite a few people in this 1 year, Alan Quickie and different ones like that. Just worked with them. People changed tires. Somebody else needed help, and then I settled back in, and I started with Joe Falk. We started the team with Todd Bodine. Ran a few races there in the '91 car, and then Kevin LePage came along and ran a few races in that car, and then I got a call from Robert Yates, and went to work over there at Yates Racing with Kenny Irwin with the Texaco car, and worked along there for, I don't know, about a year and a half or 2 years, something like that. And let's see, where did I go after that? It was right around in there. I went and started I went back to work with Roush, and I was going to do the truck team with Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
But that's the same time that Kyle Busch decided to go with Rick Hendricks right at the Cup. So it left us without a driver, and that's how I ended up working with Carl Edwards, because he came along and drove our truck, and then we just several from there. He me to keep going?
Sure. If you want to.
It sounds monotonous. I've been so many places, but after I left, after I didn't really leave Roush, I had a good stint with Roush there. We started the trucks. We won races with Carl Edwards, and then I started working with Greg Biffle, and that started that series of like about all the way to the end of 2006, I think it was. I was with Greg, and that was good times there. We came really close to winning the championship in 2005, and we won a total of, I think it was 10 races during the course when we were there, which was fun. But then after that 2006 season, I decided to go to Red Bull Racing and had a short little stint there with Brian Vickers with the Red Bull team. And after I left the Red Bull team, I went to DEI. I had another short stint with Regan Smith over there at DEI. And then after that, it was sort of just a lot of hit and miss stuff. Nothing yearly basis. I just did what I can when I could, and helped Rick Ware with a Nationwide car. Ended up going to work at TRG when we had Andy Lally over there. And then once I started with TRG, Kevin Buckler and them, he decided to get out, but the investors that were involved with that Kevin Buckler team, which was a 71 car,
Yeah.
they ended up starting their own race team, and that's where I'm currently at now, which is Ron Devine and Wayne Press and a few other investment partners that he's got are all involved with this BK Racing team now.
So who's the owner of BK Racing? Who's the main owner?
Ron Devine.
So can you explain kind of like the name BK Racing? Is that supposed to stand for Burger King, or what's that mean?
Well, obviously we're not called Burger King Racing. BK is something that Ron had just come up with. It doesn't really stand for anything. Just we're BK.
So was Ron Devine, was he part of the TRG team?
Yeah, he was he was an investor, and he was involved, and he was also involved when I think is involved with the Petties and stuff, with the Everham, or when it was Everham or
Yeah.
something. He was involved with those guys there some, and then he kind of broke off on his own when he got involved with TRG, and then he really got on his own when he got here and started BK Racing.
So what is your role now with BK Racing?
Pretty much just R&D. We hired Dave Winston to crew chief the one car that I was. I mean, we changed numbers over the winter to the 23 car, handling the Dr. Pepper logo, and then we've got the 83 with Borla exhaust and stuff on board now with Ryan Truex Jr., which Dale Ferguson is still the crew chief on that car. That was the same team that was the 93 last year. And the team that's 23 this year is basically the 83 guys from last year. So we just had a number change. That was for Dr. Pepper with the 23 flavors of the Dr. Pepper brand. So they'd like to have that. So we're currently there. But what I'm doing now is that, I talk a lot between both crew chiefs. I deal a lot with Mike Ford here at the shop. But while the team's away, we're still able to go to the 7-post. We'll do wind tunnel, pull down, just whatever special projects needs to be done. That's I kind of fill in any void, let's say.
So do you think you'll be going to any races this year?
I plan on going to Bristol this weekend to go and just check things out and be around. I want to be around, and to see how the sport progresses along. It's different watching them on TV than it is in real person there. So I like to check them out, get a good feel of what everybody's doing, and kind of carry that back to the guys at the shop.
Alright, here's a question that I haven't really asked a lot of people, but let's say, for example, if Hendrick wanted you to replace Chad Knaus on the 48 team, would you do it?
You'd be crazy not to, but the thing about it is, an organization like Hendricks has got so many backups, so many people deep. They wouldn't have to hire from the outside. They would hire, within and promote somebody up.
So do you think he'll ever be a crew chief again, like on a fill-in term or anything like that?
Well, you never say never. Just the situation with me and my family right now. I've had a lot of years on the road. Not to say that I won't do it again. The current situation is the best for me and my family right now.
So do you continue So is your role basically the same thing you've been doing? It's just you don't go to the racetrack and you work 5 days a week, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean we work a normal week. I'm just like any of the guys at the shop. While we went on the road, we always have a support group here, and you got to prepare for whatever happens with the guys on the road. Like this past week, they stayed out in Vegas, and they needed parts, and we had to make them or whatever. Got them shipped out to them. Just trying to stay on top of things. But the biggest thing is to be able to go devote your time into something new or something different without taking away from the daily grind of racing and race prep for each week. That's the big thing where it comes in.
All right, thanks, Doug, for taking the time to join us today.
All right, Josh. You guys have a good day, and appreciate everybody tuning in.
You too. Thanks. Doug Richert, everybody.